Hey everyone, it's time to Nephis and chill. In this video, I'll again be going over Zen's Redress, the item set that is probably one of the most popular support DPS sets ever in the history of ESO, with you guys yet again for I think the third time now at this point. And the reason why I'm doing so is because Icky Piggy at ESO Professor, a wonderful person and also great endgame raider, has decided to share her recent graphic with us that shows that there's a lot more things that work with Zen's Redress, probably more than what a lot of us realized. And she tested all this, so thank you again to Iki for allowing us to share it. I also put it up on the video right here, and you can pause the video or take a screenshot or whatever. And or if you don't want to do that, you can also go to this article page that will also have the image, where you can just copy the image to share with your friends or your raid leads or whatever through Discord and so forth. Yeah, let's go over it real quick because I also need to clarify how Zen's Redress actually works now post all these crazy changes that's been happening in terms of combat adjustments for the past 1.5 years or 2 years, because some people still don't get it. So I'm going to read the tooltip real quick. Your light attacks apply the touch of Zen on enemies for 20 seconds. Enemies with the touch of Zen take an additional 1% more damage for each damage over time effect you placed on them, up to a total of 5%. You can only receive the benefit from one touch of Zen per enemy. Okay, so this is going to be pretty basic going forward. So each chart will show you which skills works with Zen's Redress. As you can see, we have the Nightblade, Templar, Warden, and Dragon Knight. And of course, technically a Necromancer skill. That's not really a skill though, it's a synergy that comes from synergizing the skill of it, but I guess technically it is a skill, Agony, Totem synergy. You'll also note that base skills also share certain damage over time properties with their morphs. We also do have the world skill lines. Soul Magic, Vampire, and Werewolf all have something that works with Zen's Redress. Weapon skills, Carve, the exception of its base skill and the other morph, is basically going to work for Zen's. And remember, at this point, you have to look at the tooltips very closely and realize that not every base skill and morph share the same properties. We also have dual wield, bow, and destruction staff skills that work with Zen's Redress. We also do have Fighters Guild, Mages Guild, and Undaunted. Again, synergies coming up. Skills that do work with Zen's. Status effects, this has probably been one of the most confusing parts for a lot of people. Burning, poison, and hemorrhaging do count as dots towards Zen's Redress. Now, status effects such as concussion, chilled, disease, sundered, and overcharged don't count as status effects that count towards Zen's, because these status effects don't apply dots or damage over time effects, but only inflict minor debuffs or deal instant damage. And of course, you can see the chances of applying status effects in general down here. 1% for AoE damage over time, 3% for single target damage over time, 3% for a single target dot, AoE damage 5%, single target damage 10%, and 20% for weapon enchantment procs. Now, you'll notice something here, and I'll explain shortly. A lot of people now at this point get confused. Wait a minute. Didn't ZOS or the combat developers say they don't want procking procs? What I mean by this is, well, if a weapon enchantment or a status effect counts as a proc, how is it activating or procking Zen's Redress? Isn't that a procking a proc? And it is technically, but it's not, because remember, let's read the tooltip again. Your light attacks apply the touch of Zen on enemies for 20 seconds. Your light attacks. So the light attacks will register through the game. Does this target have dots on it while you're light attacking it with Zen's Redress? Your light attack is actually the thing that activates Zen, not the damage over time effects themselves. And that's pretty important, because uptimes on your damage over time effects and not letting them fall off is really important to keep up a consistent 5% total Zen's uptime. So hopefully I clarified that and if you guys still don't get that part, I can clarify it further in text. I know sometimes people don't understand me or the way I talk, so feel free to ask that question down in the comments below at this point. Alchemical poisons, only 2 types: damage health poison, gradual ravage health poison. And here we have the arena weapons. Now these are really interesting because they actually do modify how a skill works. So Merciless Charge, the Maelstrom two-hander, will actually add a damage over time, single target wise, to Critical Charge, Stampede, and Critical Rush. Virulent Bow also kind of works the same way, wherein it adds a damage over time portion where it can be used by Zens. Item sets, and this is a big one because it's probably the biggest addition to our Zens database. It's going to be light armor. For light armor, it's going to be World of Depths, which you can get from the Dreadsail Reef. Icy Conjurer. Medium armor sets include not just Reliquin, but also Pillar of Nirn, Griffin's Reprisal, Savage Werewolf, Sheer Venom, Sunder Flame, Unleashed Terror, Viper's Sting, Widowmaker, Roar of Alkosh, Deadlands Assassin, Twin Sisters, Venomous Smite, Vice Cannon and Venom, Plague Break, Pestilent Host. And there's no sets in heavy armor weight that proc or can help proc Zen's Redress in all weights, meaning this set can drop in any weight. Sivara's Scales actually does work towards Zens. We have craftable sets or crafted sets, Oblivion's Foe, Cold Harbor's Favorite, and Slowed Semblance count towards Zens. And lastly, the only monster set to do so thus far in the history of ESO, Marsalot counts towards as a Zen dot. And again, here is Icky Piggy's chart, which you can get or take from the website, or you can just, again, take it from this video. Useful add-ons if you're on PC for Zen's Redress, although I think, depending on the class, like if you're a Dragon Knight, I don't think you really need it, is going to be Exoi's Proc Set Timer. There's also, I believe, an add-on called Zens that isn't on Minion or ESOUI.com, but it pretty much is the same thing, and again, I don't think most Zen users will really need it. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, and thanks for staying up to date with me, guys, on all things ESO. If you liked the video, like and subscribe, because it does go a long way towards supporting our channel. Hopefully you guys stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you guys next time.